If you were going to inquire to the health of any given animal species, your first question would be, is it in the correct habitat and is there plenty of it? We know a lot about the habitat of the prairie hawk or of the desert big cats, but we never ask about the human habitat. Probably because we've seen that humans can survive in any variety of climatic conditions or built environments. Though in recent years we're questioning whether the places that we're building now, given the high obesity and high blood pressure rates and diabetes, heart disease and stroke, really are ideal for humans. To identify the optimal environment, the one that is most choice-worthy, we would probably look at places where people vacation, like Key West or Nantucket. We'd study the characteristics of places like Miami Beach or of Santa Fe. And we'd find that the places people vacation are very different than the places that people live. Where people live, there's now, today, in America especially, a strict separation of workplaces and houses, of places to shop and of civic places. Places people vacation are much more town-like. There's a human scale, interconnected network of streets. Civic buildings and places for people to gather are cited memorably. There are many different varieties of green spaces, and the streets are walkable. There's a code for creating places like this. Instead of separating everything out, it mixes uses and mixes different kinds of conditions in a way that creates diversity within the communities. It's called the Smart Code. And the Smart Code is being used in multiple different communities throughout the country, outside of just about every major city. There's one of these new towns being created. There's a terrific one outside of Tucson called CIVANO. It has the same formula. Instead of a main street, there's a courtyard in the Spanish urbanistic tradition. There are attached houses, and then come the smaller detached houses, and there's plenty of green space in between everything. There's a market plaza for people to get together. It's the third place, the first place being the workplace, the second place being the home, and the third place, like the cafe or the yoga studio or the bike shop or the spaces in between that actually create community. There are attached units so that way people who are older and younger can afford living in the community. There are live-work so that you can live above the unit that you own. There's plenty of commercial throughout. Small single-family houses within conversation distance to the sidewalk. Houses can get quite large. A variety of different people live in the community. They keep the front porch and terrace open and available for those serendipitous encounters between people by placing the parking behind the units on alleys. There's a large neighborhood green, but a variety of neighborhood spaces. There's even a community garden where on Saturdays and Sundays people get together to plant and to pick vegetables. Plenty of pedestrian paths and walking opportunities on non-motorized kind of areas. And with on-street parking, it becomes less necessary for wide expanses of pavement and parking. The streetscape is the most important part. Long sidewalks, uninterrupted, people can go from one place in this new kind of village to another in the shade of the Palo Verde and the sweet acacia and the locust trees and the dappled sunlight. It's a very walkable environment. The people in CIVANO would argue that they've hit on something when it comes to the human habitat, and that there's something a little more natural and a little more healthy about CIVANO than in neighborhoods that are typically built. This is probably to be measured by the intense loyalty that people in CIVANO feel. I think there's a lesson there for the rest of America. My name is Jason King. I'm the designer and presenter of New Communities for Dover Coal & Partners, and I work for the Transit Codes Council, which attempts to get out the message about building new communities according to the Smart Code. Thank you.